What the fuck though?
You said something that is always like probably every small business owner's like
letting go.
Fear is
letting go.
Me letting go and then compensating that person. Like, what is that? And I know maybe like nutrition world's a little bit different. Where
Sure.
It's like, you know, like, do I pay them like a percentage? Like, for every person you bring in, you get X amount percent, and then RXRD gets this.
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like?
So coming from the global gym world, the number one thing I learned was creating compensation plans. I would tell you to do a hybrid. It would be a base salary, something that is waterfalled, right? We are going to your base salary. So for example, it might do something where it starts. Can't erase my cunt acronym, right, but you know, no. So it might something where you waterfall it, where with time and reps in the business, loyalty, it's going to increase. So maybe this is months, 1 to 3, and like at the end of all these is performance reviews that determine whether you move to the next tier. So maybe you're going to start off at, and again, I don't know your numbers, but like, I don't know, maybe this is $1,500 a month. And then this is $2,000, and then this is $2,500. You go ahead and waterfall it, and then there's KPIs. So this is your base, and you are going to be doing base plus performance. Now, base is standard. That is just so someone can breathe. I'm going to pay rent this month. Mm-hmm. I can afford groceries, and I can go out and get a few beers with my girlfriends. Right. Okay, like I'm able to live without fucking pinching pennies and freaking out. It's not lavish. Like you definitely can't live on that in South End. But the performance is where performance compensation models doesn't matter. You can be aggressive or less aggressive, but they always pay for themselves. Mm-hmm. So let's say, what's a new client worth to you? Like a new avatar client, what are they worth to you at the point of sale when they sign up right then and there? What's the average?
Over a 3-month period. So
cool.
For a minimum of 3 months.
Up front, let's say they make that first, they're paying maybe. Correct, and then they have an EFT for 2 more of at least. Now, are you putting this on credit card, ACH?
I don't. It's not like I will take it at the meeting because you
don't have this scheduled out yet.
Correct. Well, the only reason why is that because people reschedule. Like I don't charge a month. It's based on session. That might extend. Like I'm on work. I can't make it this time. I'll see you. Okay,
correct.
Cool.
Yeah. This is the best piece of business advice I'll give to you on this entire thing. That has to change. I have hourly calls with people. Now technically they're just paying in advance for my time. So like technically instead of them coming to the Zoom call, I'm like, okay, run your credit card through real quick, just kind of like you're taking the payment there. I need to know because what are you doing? You're taking all the risk by scheduling an appointment with Sally on Monday at 2 p.m. Right. And then at Monday at noon, her kid had explosive diarrhea and cancels on you. You now had a day in which it was a thing you planned it around. Right. You were also planning getting paid that day, right. And now you're not. This line of work, and I am hourly, you are essentially session-wise, hourly, whatever you want to look at it per session. It has got to be projectable and predictable. Acuity is going to be the thing that that's going to transform this business, and you're going to literally wish you had done this from the beginning. Acuity is going to go ahead, hey, listen, so we're going to go ahead and put you on, it's the first month is $300, and then it's going to charge you 2 more times $300 on the date that you signed up. Acuity will do that instantly. It'll drop it into you'll set up a Stripe account, all this stuff. That has got to be an evolution of your business. I'd say one of your 2020 goals from a business, I always, with goals annually, I do personal goals, business growth, business maturity, and then what I call CX goals. And this would be a business maturity goal where it doesn't necessarily change the amount of money you get, but it's going to change the efficiency of the business. Like you showing up and expecting to get paid at that session is nobody would think weird about you saying, oh no, it's just going to be taken out of your account. That's everything. That's every sophisticated model out there. Right. It's weird like when it's like, oh no, when you get to just Venmo me when you show up. It just seems elementary, and you are getting to a point where you're no longer elementary. I did that in the beginning too. I just had people pay me, give me my $70 for that personal training session when you show up. But then there are times when they have to reschedule because of travel, but it cannot impact your business relationship with them because you do prep work before that meeting.
Right.
Because now Sally, the no-shows or can't make that Monday meeting, you blocked out that time. And it's like, can we reschedule for the time? And you're going to be a nice guy. And you're going to say, yeah, sure. Now she's essentially taken up 2 hours of your time for the payment of 1. Right. You've got to advance that. Look into Acuity scheduling. It is by far the best for the cost of whatever, $9 a month or whatever it is, Squarespace just bought it. It's fucking amazing. So, Tori Savage and this group, she starts off again in guerrilla marketing, and she used a lot of the tactics for the guerrilla marketing she does. They in a letter to like, so this moss art was a really cool way for her to help people bring life to spaces that were creative, that required no work. But the best thing they ever did was the clean graffiti. So you could go ahead, like anywhere in the city, it's a huge loophole, but you could go ahead to any public sidewalk and make a stencil of the urban movement logo and put that stencil down and hit it with a power washer. On any sidewalk, clean it, because I'm not putting anything on the street. They started off, she did a lot of guerrilla marketing. I think that gave her a proving ground for some of these other marketing ideas, like stuff like this. Like one that they did that I loved, there's a thin crust pizza place that opened up called Bricks Pizza, and it's right across the street from a very popular park. That park's landscape design is not mulch and peat moss or anything like that. They're pebbles, rocks all over. That's what makes the beds. So they went ahead and the Bricks Pizza place hired them to do guerrilla marketing. So they went and they ordered 1,000 rocks. They had them delivered by a landscape company. And they had them all painted red with the logo on it. And they just went all over like little Easter eggs, just dropping them all over these little rock beds. So kids are walking through the park with their parents and playing. And what do you think they reckon is they find these reds and they run up to mom and it says Bricks Pizza, 20% off. And it's just like where are people hanging out? They're hanging out at that park. Well, how could I get their attention? Would a flyer do it? Would a blimp flying over do it? Would, some dude spinning a sign do it? Like what would draw your attention in this landscape of just gray and white and silver pebbles, bright red ones? And you'd want to, even if you didn't have kids, you'd be walking by like, what the fuck, why is that rock red? Bend down and pick it up and be like, that is neat.
Yeah.
Like that's clever. You might throw it back but that's going to leave an impression, a very lasting impression about that brand.
Oh, you'll remember.
Oh, 100%. That it's just little stuff like that just has always been extremely, you can go on Alibaba Express and purchase phone chargers. A little brick and a little 3-foot cord. And have your logo on it or whatever it may be.
And just leave it places.
When isn't a phone charger needed? Yeah. Everywhere phone charger, just leave them plugged in. People will either take them, great, or they're gonna leave them and a ton of people are gonna use them.
Yeah.
But it's just like little things like that. That's always what, interests me in marketing, is the cleverness of it just being one step ahead of someone in the chess game of where's the attention and how do I capitalize on that.
Nice.
We had that idea with all the apartment complexes here in Charlotte, going and sponsoring pool parties and going to an apartment complex and saying, hey, it's summertime. Do you have any resident events? Because most of these leasing offices have to have events like monthly. It's part of their requirement, corporate-wise. Like, well, I'd like to throw you guys a pool party. Like, huh? Like, yeah, I'd like to throw you a pool party. We're gonna bring a DJ. We're gonna supply cups. We're gonna supply fun games, pool floats, all that. Like, what do you want from? Like, nothing. I want to do it for free. Tell me a weekend that works for you. And then you contact the DJ and you say, hey, I'm going to book 10 of these this summer. What's the best 10-pack rate you can give me? So we get the DJ for cheap. You go on again. You can buy them on China.
Now, is this when you are already here? Or?
Yes, this has been an idea I've talked about now for 2 years. We've never pulled the trigger on it. I'd love to do it this summer. But you get, this demographic, I'd get beer pong balls with the Urban Movement logo on it. I'd get a giant pool floats with the Urban Movement logo on it. The cups, the DJ, all that. And then you go to any one of these that have 400 residents on there, and any given Saturday, you probably have 150 people at the pool. Guess what's going to be on every Snapchat and Instagram? It'll stay there. People will take them and they'll see it. It's stuff like that that's my favorite part of marketing, is like trying to be one step ahead and just being like, that's clever.
That's clever.
Yeah. Alrighty, what is up? For today's vlog, I've got some clips from some meetings I've had, things like that, but I want to go ahead and address this kind of equipment. One of the changes, it's a change we started making a while ago, and I've shared it openly and transparently here with all you guys, but then I started sharing this a little bit more aggressively, like showing you guys the exact piece of equipment we're buying and what we're swapping out with and the concept behind it, and going to this pick a spot model. And I'm not gonna lie, it's become probably one of the most visceral pieces of content I've put out from a feedback perspective, from owners just like you who see it and they have this very angry is the word, it's a very strong opinion against it, which is very interesting. Like, people can have opinions, right? Opinions are important. Everyone should have one. But it's like, I'm not telling you to do this.
Today, Junior?
It's like, you know, to have, let me get it. Hold up. Boom. This is it right here. This is a 60-inch barbell, 5-foot barbell, and we went ahead and this is now what we fucking run with at Urban Movement versus the previous version, which was a 70 or 74-inch version, depending on the manufacturer we got it from. And you know, the reason why is because, well, one's 70-some inches and the other one is 60-some inches, right? This 5-foot, 60-inch barbell. And in changing that up, people like whoa, what do you mean? You're not gonna snatch anymore, right? Like, this isn't, you know, wide enough for somebody to snatch with necessarily. Like, you're not gonna use back squats anymore. You can't, you know, put it on your back and put it into a squat rack. Like, you know, it's 25 pounds. Oh my God, how are the conversions gonna work on that? You know, is that too thick for women's hands? Like,
well, then everyone loses their minds.
it's very interesting the reactions you get from people when you challenge something, even when you're not imposing it on them and saying you should be doing this. The amount of positive reactions I got to this, like people like, holy shit, that's really cool. Oh my God, you could buy it on Amazon, get it primed there, fuck yeah. You know, these little things, you know, are great, and I know that's gonna happen. The reason I'm pushing this more, I know 100%, without a doubt, you all will be buying these. Maybe not this exact one or, you know, manufacturer, whatever. You all are gonna go leaner. I believe it in my fucking bones. And here's why. All right, so let's go ahead and say you've got that 3,000 square foot space, warehouse, retail, whatever you've got, okay? We're gonna go ahead and assume that you've got maybe some bathrooms, right? You've got a lobby, you've got an office, and then where your equipment sits on the floor has to be accounted for. And I'll be honest, this equipment sitting on the floor, like your pull-up rig, where that is, the plates, the rower, whatever the fuck you've got, is gonna eat up, and this is a very, very modest calculation here. It probably should be more. But after all that's said and done, you go from 3,000 square feet to, boom, 1950. 1950 square feet. You had 3,000 and now you've got 1950 to actually sell, to actually fit people in on. Now let's go ahead and break this down a little bit further. Okay, so now based on this 1,950 square feet you have to make money off of, let's figure out which kind of model you're running. If you're running a kind of barbell model, CrossFit style model, strength and conditioning, where you have that 7-foot barbell, you're gonna be averaging around 125 square feet per member. If you don't know where I'm getting this calculation from, go and watch my operational capacity video. If I remember, I'll link it down below, but just fucking YouTube it, and it'll break down exactly where this number comes from, and you'll see I'm not far off. Bells and balls. If you run like a metabolic model, right? Where like you're literally not using bars, but you have bells and balls, no pull-up bars, things like that. You're probably looking around 75 square feet per model. And then the yoga and spin studios of the world, like those kind of models, are generally maybe around 40-ish square feet per member. And this is per class, like how much space these people take up. When you do that math, it really starts giving you what I call the come to Jesus calculator.
Tell me, Jewish God!
I have this awesome Excel breakdown, like Excel sheet that does all this for you, and like you enter in your data and all this stuff in Microgym University. You should probably go and fucking enroll. But anyway, I'm gonna do a layman's version of this for you right now. We take that 1,950 square feet, we divide it by the square footage requirements per member, and this is what it gives us. If you're running this barbell model, the CrossFit, you're capped at 15 people per class. That's it, 15, and that includes an instructor. If it's bells and balls, you got 26 people per class, and in yoga and spin, you can get up to 48 people in there, and we can all visualize that, right? We all like have seen yoga studios that are, you know, really small, and they just cram them in there because yoga mats and spin bikes don't take up a lot of square footage. And now let's go ahead, and if we were going to, you know, assume a certain dollar amount of revenue per member, per class, what is that gonna break down and look like even further? Now this part here, I'm just making assumptions on, right? I just need something for this example, but you can tweak these numbers based on your own membership cost and your attendance, you know, kind of analysis of how often your people come to class. But if you had a $150 a month membership and the average member, when you ran the reports, you found are coming 3 times a week, 12 times a month, you're making $12.50 per class. Now that $12.50, that is again a variable based on unlimited or this or whatever you have. But again, just again, for the math here. And again, like you can just go do this on your own based on your model or go get the Microgym University edition and whatever it may be. But this is gonna give you guys, I think as you're already starting to do the math in your head, where the limitations are and why a gym at 3,000 square feet or less that is a barbell model is gonna have a hard fucking time staying afloat. And here's the come to Jesus moment. If you're in that barbell model where you can only fit 15 of these motherfuckers in a class and you're getting $12.50 per person, then even with a sold out class, again, these are sold out scenarios, you're making $187.50 per class. Not a bad rate for a coach, you know, an hourly rate for a coach, but I'm pretty sure that most people are not gonna be taking home the whole lot. Even if you're the fucking owner, you don't wanna be coaching these classes. Now you gotta factor in taxes and overhead. You gotta factor in payroll. You gotta factor, you know, business profit. It's not gonna leave enough at the end of the day. The other models you can easily see, the bells and balls models gets up to $325 per class with the same scenario, the same exact variables, the same exact size, space and all that. And then the yoga and spin, and they can fit even more people in it, and they're making up to $600 a class. Like, think about that shit. So when I talk to you guys about, you know, locations that are 3,000 square feet and under in a barbell-based model, and I have the fucking audacity to tell you, hey, maybe you might want to think about swapping out that barbell, or hey, maybe you don't fucking need to have a reverse hyper, or hey, maybe that fucking, you know, 32-foot pull-up rig is not the best utilization of your space. I'm saying it for a goddamn fucking reason. I've done the math, it's not hard, a fucking 6th grader could do it, and I think you need to have a serious come to Jesus moment.
Help me, Allah!
With your model, and sit there and project out, if I sold out every fucking class, what would this look like? And we all know you probably won't sell out every fucking class. And we all know you can't just keep adding classes. You're not gonna have a poppin' 2:30 p.m. class, right? Like that's gonna be very, very rare. Guys, this whole spiel and all the stuff I've been throwing at you, I'm not here to dig on your model, and I'm not here to instill fear in you, to make it seem like I know what I'm doing and my model's better, though I think it is. What I really think is that someone needs to say to you, you're not thinking about this clearly. You're not thinking about the confines at the micro level. Zoom in, fucking zoom in instead of being so goddamn zoomed out. And I want you to think more about what your actual limitations are and your bottlenecks. It's your space and is the amount of money you get per person per class. Those are the two things. How many people can I fit in? How much money can I make per person per class? Those are your fucking bottlenecks. And when you accept that, you know, in these kind of fucking numbers, you might do something crazy, like order some shorter fucking barbells on Amazon that cost $65. And no one's ever gonna hit that 405-pound deadlift or be able to overhead squat the world, but you just might actually start making some goddamn fucking money. Mark my words, that kind of equipment will be in your gyms in the next 10 years, I fucking promise you. I hope this was helpful. You know, if you have questions on the math or whatever it is, please, boom, comment down below. I'd love to jam with you on it. Peace, I'll see you in the next vlog.
Help me, Tom Cruise!
Why y'all haters so mad? I don't know why, baby.